and welcome to the Fantasy News Show from the Bottle Imp. My name is Ken Boyd and this is your weekly fix, yes you've guessed it, of fantasy news. On this week's show, new record amount for Dalek, Harry Potter treads the boards, and the final Discworld book is launched. But first, the UK Games Expo 2016 have reported record attendance number for this year. Early figures released show that there was an increase of attendance by 86% from the previous year over the 3 days, and a total count of 25,149, so close to the 50, people, they attended over the 3 days, and the unique numbers being 12,636, so that's up 41% from last year. Now this is probably due to the move from the Hilton Hotel, which is in the same complex, which was smaller than the Hall 1 that's in the NEC complex, which was a huge hall, so obviously you can have more stands and more people there filling up the venue so they could sell more tickets. Presumably they made a bit more of a push on the marketing as well. So I think, that is a massive, massive achievement. That considering 10 years ago when they first started, they had 800 people attending. That's a huge achievement. So you can check out their Facebook page and also their website for details, which is ukgamesexpo.co.uk. And I'm actually wearing the t-shirt, the souvenir t-shirt. And obviously we're going to put all the links into the description of this episode. A rare 1966 Dalek has sold for a record-breaking amount. Now, I know it's Doctor Who, and that's mainly sci-fi. There are a little bit of fantasy elements in it, but it's Doctor Who, so I thought it would be good to report this. Now, the highest bid came from a man in London. I'm not sure if he wanted to remain anonymous or not. It could have been the Doctor, who knows. And he bought the Dalek for nearly £38,500. Which is an astonishing amount, and that's $724, beating bids from America, Australia, New Zealand and Belgium, so I guess it was really sought after if all of these countries are getting involved. Other film and TV memorabilia included a Cyberman from the 19th series of Doctor Who, which sold for £2,000, a TARDIS that sold for £1,000, and a 79cm egg that was believed to have been used in the 1979 film Alien, and that fetched £550, and a life-size model for use for special effects in the Mummy Returns film that fetched £2,500. Nice little earner. Dicing on the Cake is seeking funding to open up a board game cafe. They're already an online tabletop gaming website where they sell various games and table gaming accessories. And what they're deciding to do is any profits that come from the sales of that, they want to plough into opening an actual board game cafe. And they're based in Kent. And obviously board gaming has really taken off in the last 5 years. Probably 10 years, but definitely in the last 5 years in the UK. So there are more and more of these board gaming cafes cropping up, which is obviously really good if you're into board gaming. I visited the one in Oxford, which is absolutely fantastic. That's the Thirsty Meeples, and it's really good to just go in, and they have a huge library. So there's games that you've never played before that you can just instantly play for free. Well, not quite free, but for very low cost. Obviously, you don't have to spend 30-40 quid if you don't want to. So you can visit their website, which is dicingonthecake.com, and they do have a Facebook page as well. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is now in previews at the Palace Theatre, London, and that's ahead of its official opening, which is the 30th of July this year. It's the 8th story in the Harry Potter series, and it's set 19 years after the 7th Harry Potter story, which is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Harry is now an overworked employee of the Ministry of Magic. He's a husband, and he is also a father of 3 school-aged children. How times have changed, Harry. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is one play that's split into 2 parts, and they're intended to be seen in order and preferably in the same day. So you can go along to the matinee and then you go along to the evening performance, and that completes the full play. Or you can spread it over, 2 nights if you prefer. You can find out more about this and book your tickets. I believe they're on sale now at their website, which is harrypottertheplay.com. Terry Pratchett's final novel, The Shepherd's Crown, is out now. It's on sale in hardback, and it's been almost 6 months since the Discworld author died. And this latest one is his 41st novel in the series. That's an amazing achievement. Hugely popular series, and it's the 5th novel to feature the young witch Tiffany Aching. Sir Terry died at the age of 66 in March, 8 years after being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and the book was 90% or thereabouts finished by the time that he died from the illness and, well, forced him to stop work. So I'm not sure who actually finished it off unless they just printed it. So maybe it was a first or second draft, so the book was complete, and then, you know, Terry was going to go in and actually polish it up a bit more. Fans gathered at midnight in stores in London, Oxford and Newcastle when it did launch, which I think was about a week ago. And the novel will be published in the US on the 1st of September. Fantasy Flight Games have released Kindred Fire, which is the first full-length campaign for the Road to Legend app. So the Road to Legend app is actually obviously something for your tablet, rather than one player taking control of being, say, the Dungeon Master and controlling all the traps and monsters, and then the other players go through the dungeon. This app takes control of that, so all of you can be the players going through the dungeons and testing your abilities. So, you know, that's obviously a good thing if nobody really wanted to be the Dungeon Master. Kindred Fire is the first full-length campaign, because when you got the app, you actually got a little mini campaign just to, you know, test it if you liked it. And they say that because the mini app was well received, the mini campaign, then this campaign is actually free for you to download right now. You can find out more about the campaign and the app if you visit their website, which is fantasyflightgames.com. Kickstarter news: iClassics is an interactive app. Can't read my own writing there. That, even though it's printed, don't know why I said that bit. Anyway, I'll start that a bit again, shall I? iClassics is an interactive app that aims to re-image the classics of literature. Now, at first, I was a little bit, just, you know, you don't need to monkey with anything if they're classics. But iClassics and Play Attitude have teamed up to create an app that they think will promote and celebrate the reading of the classics, because maybe nowadays the younger generations aren't, you know, maybe they're not on the school curriculums, or maybe people aren't picking them up. So what they've done is they've made them interactive. So they've got, in the collection so far, they've got Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and there is a Kickstarter campaign where they want to fundraise for more authors to be added to the collection. Now, each story has an animated aspect to it as well. There's also kind of illustrations that are still, that aren't animated, and there's an original soundtrack, so when the animations kick in, there's a bit of a soundtrack to create more atmospheric, an audio-visual experience for you. And obviously then the text still comes up, so you're still reading it like a book. It's in 3 languages so far: English, Spanish and French, and they plan to add more languages further down the line. And so from what I can tell, yeah, it's like you're kind of watching an interactive film, but then you're still in control of it when you turn the page, and then you're obviously reading it like a book. And as far as I can tell, they're full colour, and the artwork looks amazing. There's little video clips of somebody going through one of them, and yeah, it looks really, really fun and really good. I mean, I haven't got a Kindle. This might be the thing that gets me into that, but I'm not 100% sure. But it does look fantastic. If you are into reading it from Kindle, yeah, you definitely want to check this out. It finishes on the 6th of July. Goblin King Games are fundraising for their first of many miniatures for Moonstone, which is their new fantasy skirmish game. The Fire Spitter is a 32mm scale model for the upcoming fantasy miniatures game Moonstone, and it's set in a grim fairy tale world of Tuba. And this miniature is sculpted by Tom Lishman, and it's designed and manufactured completely within the UK. The Fire Spitter Mini does look really good. It looks very detailed, it's full of character. Do recommend that you check this one out. Moonstone game is currently being play tested at the moment, and they have now got the beta rules available for you to download at their website, which is moonstonethegame.com. And if you go into the download section, they also have a Facebook page where they have a few samples of what's to come. You know, they're trying to sort of give you as much information as and when they have it. And obviously you can check out their Facebook page. The campaign finishes on the 22nd of June. Massive Dark is a dungeon crawl game for 1 to 6 players from Cool Mini or Not and Guillotine Games. The dungeon crawl game needs no dungeon master apparently to run this game, so it's players versus the game. Now this story is all about the Lightbringers who once kept the forces of darkness at bay, but they are no more, so darkness has returned. And it's up to you, 6 brave adventurers, to fight their way through the dungeon to discover their evil plans and prevent the darkness from spreading across the land. So obviously the premise isn't necessarily the most original that you can think of, but if you like that kind of thing, it's very kind of Lord of the Rings-esque. They do have the sort of classic, characters in there, like the elf ranger, the barbarian, the wizard, and the rogue. But, I guess if you like all that, it's familiar to you. So, you're busy learning the gameplay rather than trying to get to grips with new character classes that they've created. The game does come with loads of components. I mean, tons of components. And obviously, being Cool Mini or Not, there's minis, there's lots of miniatures in there. They're beautifully sculpted. And I guess, people love little minis. Maybe that's why they always get funded. They do have loads of images that you can look at, and obviously they've got a couple of videos for you to get a feel of the game. It is already funded because they've already reached over $1 million, which is crazy money. And the campaign finishes on the 8th of July. The Bottled Imp news. The Legends of Grimace Ironblood is now available on Amazon. Yay! My fantasy book, which launched at the UK Games Expo. It's brand new. I've now figured out how to put it up on Amazon because a few kind fellow Imp viewers, they were requesting if it was available overseas, and they were in the US. So as far as I'm aware, yes. If you search for The Legends of Grimace Ironblood, or K.R. Boiter, which is my writing name, or I guess you might be able to get Ken Boiter, that should work. Give it a go. Buy it, see if it works, and then I can send you a copy. I had to set myself up as an Amazon seller, and I've never done that before, so I'm fingers crossed it works. If it doesn't, or you've got a problem, please email me. Go to the bottledimp.com website where you can fill in a contact form, and I'll receive that and help you out. We have also got copious amounts of UK Games Expo 2016 interviews and footage. We did a big long walkthrough for you to enjoy. We've got Imp extras for you over the next couple of weeks, so look out for that. That's when myself, Julian, who is the co-creator and producer of the Bottled Imp, he's rather tall, so you'll notice him straight away in the video, and also the Legend of Grimace Ironblood illustrator and Bottled Imp illustrator, known as the Artful Doodler, or Rich Nen. He was there as well, he helped out, and so you can see everything that we got up to. And so obviously maybe you ought to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, because then you can get instant updates when they're coming online. But that's all we have time for, fellow Imps. Remember to watch our Friday fantasy show, obviously every Friday. We do have a Facebook page, and also we've got a Twitter account, and you can leave comments there. We will do our best to get back to you. Obviously, you can leave comments under all of the episodes of our YouTube channel. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Please do so. Please watch, share, and like all of our stuff. Spread the word of the Bottled Imp. Remember, keep it unreal, especially if it's the news.